Take a look. It's April 5th, 2024. Happy Friday. Happy WrestleMania weekend in the weeds. We're live as we always are. You know what? Jeremy Lambert, who's here with me all the time. By the way, I'm Natural Pearl. It's good to see you. I've decided in the future, the not too distant future, I want us to go to Mania weekend. But for Media Day, I want the setup. I want to put ourselves live in living color, not the band, though they are great. They have other songs too. That album's great though. But the point is, I want a sitting Radio Row type of thing, and they bring the wrestlers to us. I want us to have that busted open treatment where we go and we sit there and talent comes to us and we do our thing. That's how I want to do it. Did you see the lines this morning? I'm sure you did. The lineups for talent interviews were absolutely bonkers. I want us to have the space where they come to us and we do the interviews there. We'll get a hot tub. How about that? We'll get a damn hot tub and we'll do morning interview. I know we're probably ripping off somebody, but we'll do a hot tub interview at WrestleMania. That's what we're going to do in the next few years. How you doing?
Well, I've not seen the full talent lineup of interviews. I know there are going to be a ton. I know Media Days today. So who else doing interviews?
So Denise says, and by the way, John Alba also tweeted out something like this. Denise said, I honestly don't know how many interviews I'll actually get this time. There are 8 sections, 4 in the front, 4 in the back, and the lines for each are long. Well over 100 plus press members here from the look of it. I'm going to get this photo. And I'll upload it. This is the photo from Media Row from her. I'm just going to get here so that everyone gets a visual. Because if you haven't, by the way, follow Denise. She's great. But also just in case you haven't seen it yet, let me upload it here. And we'll get to this. This is what it looks like right now.
Oh wow.
And that's not as long as it will be, but that is what we're looking at right now. Media Day for WrestleMania. And this is the stand and deliver. You can see the NXT line that she's standing in. Looks like Roxanne Perez up there. I can't make out the others from that.
Hope they start a fight.
Me too.
Just everybody. That's Denise true. Should fight all the media members.
I think so too. I think that's the best. Oh, I see AJ Styles. That's the one in the pink.
Pink is it? Okay.
Yeah, that's AJ Styles.
Zarian's on my side. Just everybody fight. Yeah. I was gonna send this to Haley. Joined us from SummerSlam Media Row last year, right? Wasn't it SummerSlam?
Yeah, and the internet was awful, but she made it and she was great.
I was gonna send this to her again just to call that back. Like, hey, you want to join us as all this media stuff goes on? Well, look, it's a busy weekend. I've basically not slept as it is, and then this weekend I'm not going to sleep at all. There's no shortage of stuff to do. The media today, and then it actually dies down a little bit tomorrow and stuff because tomorrow's just the shows. But then the shows happen. You got media coming out of that. Sunday, there's stuff going on. It's a busy weekend, Joel. It's a busy weekend. I've watched a lot of wrestling already. More wrestling to be watched. I guess we're talking about AEW Dynamite though.
let me. Okay. First of all, if you haven't already, leave a thumbs up on the video. I know you want to, and you should. And you should also subscribe to us here at Fightful Overbook because we are doing the work, as they say. We'll talk about weight belts in a little bit and doing the work, but also donate a super chat. Any amount, get your question or statement read on the air. We always love that. And of course, it is Point to the Sign season for one last time. The last time
we'll be able to do this. Look at this. The AI fireworks are not going
fireworks. Where's the pyro?
Oh, there it is.
Point to the Sign. WrestleMania stage has been unveiled. Go check that out. Looks like a WrestleMania sign stage.
It sucks. Let's be honest about it. It's very basic. They just put a giant XL on there. It's, I don't know. Everyone's so reliant on just giant screens nowadays. Where's the creativity?
When screens were men. whatever it
It's
was.
lame.
I see Kevin Owens is at Media Day. I saw Emily May just posted a photo of her and him. So there you go. There are gonna be a lot of people talking. It's WrestleMania week, baby. It's WrestleMania weekend. Corey Brennan in the chat saying stage is fine. That's because you cover NXT, where the NXT PLEs are all just the stage they used at that one Raw in Chicago. That's all it is. This is one long ass video board with star banner behind it.
Yeah, it's just a giant screens. That's all you need. Screens. We need some creativity.
No, you got screens. The creativity comes from the artists that you hire to make the visuals that get put up on the screen.
Basically.
But if you don't have that, then you don't have greatness. I'll put over Mel Coleman, okay? Because I always put over Mel Coleman because she's wonderful. She's lovely. She's also local, so I have to. But the Don Callis family table, the Last Supper, that's her work, and it's been updated here and there. But like, that's the idea. That is great visuals on a screen that accentuates the performance or the presentation of the performers. That's the kind of stuff that you need. And WWE, they also create some good stuff. I think the stuff for The Rock's presentation has been really fun. The lightning bolts and then the final boss and the electricity. Like, there's some cool stuff being made, but like, you do have to have the right person or people, the right team making those graphics and making that art to make it pop on a screen like that.
Now they'll utilize those screens well. I'm really not worried about them, how they're going to utilize the screens, and they put a lot of effort into that. I'm being facetious when I say the stage sucks. I truly don't care what the stage looks like. Like, it's a stage to me. All right. Do I miss like kind of like set pieces and stuff? Yeah. I think that stuff is very fun, but whatever. Who cares? It's a stage.
Someone in the chat asking if we have a favorite WrestleMania stage. You know what? That's a good question, because there have been
the Orlando one. Nothing's beating that one.
33.
Yeah,
that's
that
way
one's
up
so good.
Yeah. That one was great. I remember. You know what is a little bit underrated, and that is 34. The next year when they were in the Mercedes-Benz, the Superdome, and they had
that
the
one was good.
masquerade, the Mardi Gras mask. I like that one. Mania 29 in New York, New Jersey, when they had the big set pieces around New York. I like that stuff. Even the stage they had, or not the stage, the where the ring was, they had the tarp over the ring, and they had kind of set pieces from that coming out of the top. I like that stuff, but they're fine. The stages are fine. It's all about the presentation as you move forward with all these LED boards.
Anyway, AEW Dynamite.
So why did I pick a Dynamite thing?
Yeah, I want to know this too.
Listen, SEO would dictate, yes, that right now everyone's talking about WrestleMania and everyone's getting the WrestleMania stuff and everyone's doing their predictions. We have a prediction show over on the main channel. Stephanie Chase did one with Rich Fan, and that's great. That's what Stephanie does. She does prediction shows. Later on today, Rob and Maggie at 3 p.m. Eastern, they're going to do what they're calling Predictomania, where they literally predict Stand and Deliver, WrestleMania nights 1 and 2. I think they're doing ROH Supercard. Like, they're doing all the predictions for everything. And I'm like, I don't want to do predictions. And I also think that every single thumbnail right now is like prediction, hot take, whatever. And yeah, that's SEO. But let's give a little love to AEW Dynamite, because the contract signing was fantastic. That main event contract signing was absolutely the highlight of the show for me, in terms of drama and in terms of just proving to me that Swerve could absolutely be the guy, which I think a lot of us have felt that before, but I felt like we'll dig in on that a little bit, because we're going to talk about Mania. Of course, we're going to talk about WrestleMania. It's the season. It's the reason.
What if we didn't talk about WrestleMania?
Thought about that. I can't dig too deep into the ditch. I can't. I thought of it. Listen, we were talking off air. I have a Google Alerts set for flights to Vegas, because every once in a while, like on Wednesday's show, Mark Hoke was like, "You coming to Vegas for Rebellion?" I was like, "Hell no." And then, of course, Google trolls me this morning and sends me my daily Google flight tracker, and it's $100 less than it was yesterday to go to Vegas for Rebellion for that weekend. So now I'm like, oh, come on. I don't know if I'm going. Probably not. But the point is, we could do an entire 2+ hours of non-WrestleMania talk if chat really wants it. So you gotta incentivize us not to do it, because if we don't do it, then we're losing out on other revenue streams here. Come on.
We're gonna boycott WrestleMania because they didn't give us our own table for WrestleMania weekend for Media Row.
In fairness, we haven't we haven't applied. Next year, Minnesota, in the weeds, Radio Row. It's just us with microphones.
We should set up shop. Who cares?
I'm tempted. That would be fun. I'm tempted. Money in the Bank. Come to Toronto. Let's just set up. We'll set up at the bar across the street, the Real Sports, and we'll just do interviews there. I'm sure we could figure it out. Listen, between the two of us, we could probably get one or two WWE superstars come and join us for that.
We Cleveland. You're gonna come to Cleveland for SummerSlam. We'll just set up shop. We'll set up shop at my house. You know, wrestlers got to travel a little bit. Like
we have a shuttle bus. It's $5.
Well, Uber. You know, we got 12 kids. We got the shuttle bus, so we'll just take the bus back and forth.
You make sure all the kids have their driver's license, learner's permits, whatever, and you send them off in cars to shuttle them back and forth to pick up wrestlers to come and do the thing.
Let them come to our house, and we'll just do the show from. We'll have them here.
By the time those kids pulled their weight.
Yeah, these kids, you know, the kids can interview them. Yeah, they'll ask great questions, you know.
By the way, this is a point, pile driver finisher. You guys don't have to apply. They should offer it to you. Yes, they should. They don't need to offer Sean Ross Sapp anything. He just shows up. We need the red carpet rolled out. We need, you know, people talk about. Sorry, I'm gonna steal a thing from Steven Larson over at Going in Raw. They talk about the tribal chief setup in their gimmick. We would want that type of setup, the Judgment Day setup, for us to do. We need the clubhouse for us to do shows on their production row, media, whatever.
We'll see. We'll see what we can do for next year at WrestleMania.
We'll talk to the
lofty goals here.
Maybe we should probably Going in now. It's called Going in Raw. I'm not saying anything out of it's what the show's called. Love those two. They're great. Matt Man's also pretty good, but Andrew and Rich are doing a show here on Fightful instead. We'll talk. We prefer that show now. That's the in-house show.
Sure.
So, what do you want to talk about?
I thought we were talking about Dynamite.
Do you want to get right into that? Sure, let's talk about it.
I don't want to talk about Dynamite at all. No offense, but I don't want to.
I did the post show with Alex Pulaski. It was great, by the way.
Yeah, I showed up.
You did show up.
That one dude was super pissed.
Some people got real angry about you showing up. Comedy bits in the first 7 minutes, not for me. Like, you know, you can fast forward in the replay, right?
Well, you can't fast forward if, you know, you're watching live. Well, you know what?
In the replay. I specifically said in the replay, you can fast forward.
All right. Well, you know what? A promo addressing an interview on an MMA show for the first 10 minutes of a show is not for me. So, you know, can't win them all, I guess.
Do you want to start there? Do you want to talk about that real quick, and then we can talk about the actual good stuff from Dynamite? Because that wasn't for me either. The first 3 minutes of that promo from Copeland, that was good. I thought we were going somewhere.
Disagree.
Well, let's say someone else had given that promo, not Adam Copeland. But the topic of conversation here, not being from Adam Copeland's mouth. Did you enjoy the content until it very clearly became a rah speech?
I thought it was hilarious. I thought the whole promo was hilarious. I thought him coming out with no TNT title was hilarious. He's like, yeah, I got this belt, but I'm not here because I'm the champion of this company, even though I'm about to tell you how great this company is.
I love
I'm here to tell you as Adam what's going on.
And I love that he's like, this is when he's like, I'm here to come. I'm coming to you as Adam. I'm like, on TV, you're presented as Adam. Yeah. I think that's like when his WWE brain, and you know, this isn't a tribalistic bullshit thing. I think this is his WWE brain being like, oh, I'm Edge, but now I can be Adam. I can be real. And I'm like, well, no, you're always Adam here. You're always Adam Copeland in AEW. So he comes out, he doesn't have the title. And some people pointed that out before he started talking. And I was just like, yeah, that gives me pause that he's about to say like I have to retire again, because he starts going on about, I lost wrestling for 9 years and I love it, blah blah blah. He got into like the history of his love of wrestling. I'm like, oh, I hope he's not about to like re-retire. And then he does the rah-rah speech, and I'm like, okay, this is
Oh, I didn't think for a second he was about to re-retire. I didn't know where this thing.
or he was gonna like do a, I don't know. It didn't feel like rah-rah at first. It felt like he was about to do like, oh, well, Sting got to retire on his own terms, so I'm announcing Adam's retirement tour, and then he would culminate with a big pay-per-view match in like Toronto. I don't know, which we just did, but I just felt like the first part of it was like, okay, we're going somewhere. Maybe this is a storyline. Maybe this turns in not necessarily the retirement stuff, but the being real with you, whatever. Like I thought maybe we had a character development, and then it turned into, I love this place. I love AEW. I love all wrestling, and I'm just like, the amount of people who saw the CM Punk stuff is minimal at best compared to what Dynamite could just be.
It kind of proved Punk's point. And I think that's where I had the biggest sort of disconnect with it. Because Punk, one of his arguments was, a lot of arguments, but one of them was like, you're playing to a small niche internet audience. That's it. That's what you're doing. And Copeland comes out and plays to that small niche internet audience who knew about that interview, and that's what he was addressing. Like that's what it was. I was like, why are we doing this? It's not going anywhere. The most hilarious, there's a lot of hilarious parts. Hilarity all around. The most hilarious thing, Adam Copeland names all these people he wants to face. And then instead of like, you know what? We're going to give you one of those matches of one of those names. Copeland is named. They're like, Penta says, I want to face Adam Copeland. It's like, you couldn't have like name dropped Penta in there to throw like, this is cool. So like, they could have at least done that. Instead, he's like, I want to face this person, this person, this person, this person. And then an hour later, they're like, yeah, now we're going to give you Adam Copeland against none of those people he named.
And by the way, people, someone in the chat saying like it was about releases and internet negativity. It was about that too. But like it was about a culmination of things. And it kicked off with the Punk stuff. And by the way, this isn't me saying, oh, because of what Punk said, Tony did the releases. No, I think that was just, everything just kind of became ill-timed after Punk's comments. Nothing was as a reaction to. And we can get into that stuff in a few minutes. The internet negativity was because of the Punk stuff, and then it became worse because of the releases. It was just a 1-2 punch that was honestly created on their own. It was created by their own, situation.
Just do your wrestling show.
Yes,
that's all I want to see.
If you tell me wrestling show, if this is where the best wrestle, then start with the best. You had Will Ospreay open the night with Will Hobbs in a good match, and then you immediately followed it up with Bryan Danielson versus Lance Archer in a great match. And like, you could have just done that and just told me this is where the best wrestle, and then done something else with Copeland. It just felt very contrived. And I said this on the post show for Dynamite. I said, there were two people right off the top of my head that you could have sent out other than Adam Copeland, who just joined the company in November, to do this. And those two people were Bryan Danielson, who had a match, and Eddie Kingston, who is very rah-rah AEW and always gets the crowd invested in what he has to say. It just felt weird coming from Copeland. And I know, chat, before you say he wanted to do it, that's great. He can also be told, no, I want this person to do it instead and do it this way. Like, there were other ways to go about it. And I don't think that this was the right guy to do it, or the time.
Are we still talking about Dynamite?
Oh yeah, and Impact Wrestling got Jonathan Gresham back.
You also can't. They should have just sent out Eddie Kingston and just been like, who gives a fuck what anybody has to say?
Exactly.
Let's fight. That's it. And then here comes Bryan Danielson. That's it. That's it. That's all we should have done.
Just should have been him yelling.
You also can't do this promo and then put on that Jay White and Billy Gunn match. That was egregious booking.
Oh God! Why? I feel like this was like Billy protecting himself, and that's sure whatever. If there's one thing Billy Gunn wants to do is protect his image, and that's whatever. I don't agree with it. Jay White made the best of it, but like that match was just not good. But talk about the actual good before people get all weird. Joel just hates AEW. No, I don't. Did a post show, talked very highly about it, so maybe go watch that on Main. I did. Stop it. Known AEW hater Joel Pearl. I get it. Swerve and Joe. Let's talk about that main event promo segment. At first, I wasn't sure if it was going to be the best spot for it in the main event because traditionally a match ends Dynamite and they got a hot spot. This was the hottest it could be. I loved this promo. I loved this segment. I am very much more excited for Swerve and Joe. I already was. Now we've introduced a whole new element and I loved doing it. Swerve just being like, I love this shit. Getting pounded down by that chain. Taken to Pound Town by the chain. There was some really good stuff in that segment. Joe dropping Diddy lines. Let's go.
That was a choice. I don't mind it, and Samoa Joe can get away with it. That was a great segment. I love Joe just no selling the chain choking. He's like, yeah, what? Huh? No, get this thing off me. Your chain's too tight, Isaiah. And then he punched him. Swerve signing the contract in blood. That was great. He didn't punch him. Sorry, Joe headbutted him. Swerve punched him. But that was a great segment. It was fantastic. I mean, Dynasty's still a few weeks away. We'll see if I don't know if they was gonna peak too early on this. I think they still got a lot of juice left in this feud. But this was certainly a nice jolt for it. So I think it was a great segment. I don't know. It was Adam Copeland was right. It's not often said. It's often said by me. I always say Adam Copeland is right.
Yes, your favorite wrestler in the whole universe, Adam Copeland. Notable AEW hater, Jeremy Lambert. Yeah, the segment really does get me excited for Swerve and Joe. I do wonder how we're going to fill the next few weeks of TV because that is certainly the big question. This was a hot angle. This was a hot segment. This was a bloody segment. That you almost went to the brink with that. Now you got to find out like what's going to be hotter than this? Another home invasion?
MJF coming in apparently because that's who the crowd was chanting for.
And they didn't. And you know what? Swerve and Joe, to their credit, did not acknowledge it. They didn't let it sit. They were just like, what are they chanting? Oh shit, let's go. It was kind of like put your blinders on. Stop listening to the crowd in that moment.
That was very surprising. That was the most surprising thing about the segment. I was like, oh, okay. Did not expect an MJF chant in the middle of this promo. I don't think MJF he might come back maybe he does come back at Dynasty. Maybe Swerve wins and then here's MJF showing up to confront Swerve, or Joe wins. Here's MJF to confront Joe. Yeah, since Joe was the one who beat him. Maybe that's the direction they go. I do think the fact that those chants happened, they can't be ignored. They probably shouldn't be ignored. And if I'm Jim JF, if I'm MJF, I'm certainly not ignoring them. I'm certainly sending some messages of like, you hear that? Ain't been off television for 4 months now. Ain't been on television for 4 months now. You hear that?
All he had to do was tweet at The Rock.
Yeah, that's it.
And clearly MJF isn't going to come out for Swerve and Joe. No, he's going to come out and confront Cody after he finishes the story at WrestleMania. That's going to be the big close, right? Right?
Sure. Yeah, that's Steven Jensen's there.
I'm going to bring this up. It's not that I disagree with you. It is Tony Khan's company. He can run it how he sees fit. We can watch or not. Wrestlers can work there or not. Adam Copeland rallying the troops is not something that needs to be done on television to open up your program, whether or not Tony asked for it. It's like you're 99% there, but it just doesn't need to be done to start the TV show. Nobody's saying like you're going to shut down tomorrow. That's the whole thing. It came off as this was the perfect connection that someone made. I'm sorry, I forgot who it was, but I'm going to steal it for a minute. When 83 weeks finally ended, not the podcast, but when WCW finally lost their first week of Nitro versus Raw on the Monday Night War, Bischoff came out a couple weeks later and challenged Vince McMahon to a fight.
Yeah, that
was desperate, is what it was. And I'm not saying that this is desperation, but I'm saying it has the same effect when you try to do something that's raw when you don't need to go there. Your company's fine. Your company's not going anywhere. People love what you're presenting. I enjoy week to week what AEW puts on. Yeah, sure. I pull some things apart and I'm just like, I don't like this. I'm allowed to. Guess what? Just because I like your show doesn't mean I blindly enjoy everything about it. Same thing about every company that I cover and watch. There are things that I do not like that I talk about. That being said, this was one of those things. You just I don't think it needed to be brought up on a public sphere. I just think it could have gone without it and gone right into the wrestling. Battle of Wills.
There was an earthquake in New York, Philly, New Jersey area.
Oh yeah, I see this now. 4.8. Yeah. That's not that bad.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I've ever experienced an earthquake.
5 kilometers northeast of Lebanon, New Jersey. I have experienced an earthquake. Where I grew up was near train tracks. That sounds more bad than it is. I didn't grow up anyway. We thought it was a train going by in the middle of the night. No, it was an earthquake.
I hope everyone's safe.
Yeah, me too. It's just outside. It's a weird spot. I'm looking at the map and it's like north of Trenton, east of New York or west of New York quite a bit. It's it looks like middle of nowhere, to be honest. Near Edison, New Jersey.
Hope there's no earthquakes during WrestleMania.
It's kind of wild though that like this is the first time that they're doing Mania like it's Paul's Mania, and suddenly the deal with the devil where every year -1 rain doesn't affect WrestleMania. This is the one where they're just we're gonna throw everything.
This is why Nick Khan was like, yeah, we're moving all this shit indoors moving forward. It's like, we ain't messing with this outdoor stuff anymore.
Yeah, I would probably do the same.
Yeah. Nick Khan was very of like, yeah, this deal was done 4 years ago before I got here. So that's why all these are outdoors. It seems if you listen to the Nick Khan interview with the Town on the Ringer Network, he was very much like, yeah, we're indoors now.
We talked about your earthquake, Andrew Zarian. You're not that special. Your 4.8 earthquake. We just hope everyone's okay. I'm sure everyone's fine. It's probably just Puff taking a body slam. Love that guy. But let's face it, you're all fine. So yeah, that was the main event for Dynasty. Looks a lot better than it did before. It always looked good. Now it looks better. Is this Swerve's time? Is this the undeniable beginning of Swerve as the AEW World Heavyweight Champion?
I don't know if it's undeniable, but it's certainly like that's the direction I would go. But the crowd could change that in 3 weeks. You know, it's very possible the crowd is getting behind, getting behind Joe more. It's very possible.
That'd be interesting. I would love to see them. I would love to see how Swerve looks as the next AEW World Champion, but I do wonder how the first feud would set up, whether it's MJF or if it's a return to Joe. I'm interested as to how the crowd would react to that, because Swerve is doing that, dancing a really good line, and Joe is hardline the heel. He is the bad guy in the story right now, but Swerve can turn on a dime too and go back to the way he was, be sadistic. He's got the chain. He can do underhanded things. I'm wondering how he's presented if he wins that title and they go to someone like MJF. People are going to cheer him on the way back. And then suddenly you got to turn Swerve back, or what do you like? What's the presentation like? How does it look if, judging on who's the first challenger?
I think it just all depends on, it will depend on, MJF coming back. He will probably be cheered. I don't know if MJF's coming back, by the way. Again, if I'm MJF and I heard that chant, I'd make my case. Swerve that should be presented as the baby face. They got Hangman. They could go back to the Hangman feud. And, I will see if when he does eventually come back, he was the heel coming out of Revolution and a little bit even going into Revolution. But he was the heel. And so you can go back to the Hangman and Swerve feud potentially for Double or Nothing one-on-one match there. Swerve will just be the definite babyface going into that one.
It feels like if they have Swerve win, you got to build him up for All In, in my opinion.
Well, everyone thinks it's going to be Swerve and Will Ospreay. Ospreay, he's over. He's the babyface. So they did babyface last year, essentially, with Cole and MJF.
I'd like to think that Swerve would want to tell the story of a babyface heel dynamic. I'd like to think that he has that kind of mentality, and that's not a good or bad thing. I just think wrestling is better presented when.
Well, then he's the heel because he ain't babyfacing in Wembley.
He is, and that's kind of my point. Is that in this story that he's telling right now, he's a tweener. He's getting cheered. He's clearly loved by the fans, but he's still using a chain. He still wants to get physical and brutal and hardcore. So there's room there for him to kind of turn back. Maybe wins the title, realizes I can use my underhanded tactics to keep the title. I don't know how it's told, but there could be a moment where he just says, "Nah, forget the fans. I did this. I won the title. This is my time." But they gotta present him as a strong heel if that's the match for All In is Ospreay and Swerve.
It depends on where they're going with everything. And MJF, I wouldn't dismiss him as a factor and stuff right now. Maybe I would have thought less of it before Wednesday. I think that chant was a little telling. Not telling in like what the fans, like the overall fan base might want, but the fact that the crowd was chanting for him in the middle of that segment. Again, if I'm MJF, I'm making that known. I'm sending that out there of, hey, look, I was silent for 4 months. I tweet one thing during the day. All of a sudden, they're chanting my name in this main event segment. Also, look, MJF did the business he did as the champion last year. The business, I'm talking tickets and ratings and stuff, still about the same, less than even. You bring back MJF, you might pop a rating, pop some tickets or something here. So I'd probably, if I'm MJF, I'd probably bring that up too.
Jeremy, it happened. It happened. Media Row. LA Knight confronted AJ Styles.
I told you.
They ran an angle.
Told you.
And then Seahawk, Cam Hawkins, our pal, just posted a little something. Carmelo Hayes is on the chair. Trick Williams is at the other end of the room. They acknowledge that each other are in the room. They're going to run some angles here.
You figured they would. I mean, they're running angles on Hawani's show, so why wouldn't they run angles? They got all that media there. Like, everybody's going to cover it.
Yeah, I'm watching AJ Styles taking down LA Knight right in front of an WrestleMania Media Day poster. Hey, oh, God. This wouldn't happen if we had the hot tub. This wouldn't be happening if they gave us the hot tub. That's all they need to do. So back on the topic of MJF. This is what's really funny to me is that you have the crowd chanting MJF's name out of nowhere after so many people spent so long, kind of bashing MJF towards the end of his AEW world title run as like the reason AEW went down, which like I disagree with. But for those who really felt that way, I felt that it was pretty strange that suddenly they were back in MJF's, good graces enough to cheer his name. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. I understand.
Yes, but also it does speak to there is an online bubble. Let's be honest. I know a lot of AEW has a more online fan base, I think, than WWE does. But there's still an online bubble that like these people don't like MJF, but the crowd reactions for MJF, save that terrible Jay White match, but like the crowd was still there with him on a week to week basis. So I don't want to just pigeonhole MJF. I don't know if that's the right term, but like I don't want to just make it seem like everyone had turned on MJF. Yeah, there was a vocal portion of the crowd that did turn on MJF, but the television audience was still there with him. They were still into what he was doing with the devil storyline and everything.
So do you run MJF right into a world title feud, or do you get him and Adam Cole? Where do you get to MJF and Adam Cole?
That depends on Adam Cole's ankle. That
That's
all depends on Adam Cole's ankle, because you don't want to. I understand why MJF would immediately go after Adam Cole. That makes the most sense based on what happened. But you can't, and maybe that's why MJF's taken so long to come back, because they know that's what they have to run, but they can't Mercedes this thing of, hey, we got to run this, but you're not cleared, or you can't wrestle for another 2 months. So now we just got to run you out there on television every week doing short little promo segments, but we can't actually do this match until May. And so that's why they don't want to bring MJF back too early, because it's like, oh, what are we going to do with him for 2 months because he can't wrestle Adam Cole for those entire 2 months? Like, yeah, they can do the Matt Taven, Mike Bennett, Roderick Strong. That stable's, yeah, Maggie says it, cold, just completely cold.
And there was opportunity there, but when the top two people in this feud are out, you can't just sit on it. Like you can't force it when MJF and Adam Cole are both injured, and that is the whole crux of this storyline of the Undisputed Kingdom. It doesn't exist without those two, and if they're not there, then they should kind of just be silently put away.
Exist at all.
It shouldn't exist, but they can't really retcon it, because you still have, unless the Infantry walk out with the Ring of Honor tag titles.
They can retcon it, because MJF can just come out and just, what was the bit? It was something in WWE, and it was the Rick Rude thing with DX, and then they just replaced him. It's like, well, that was easy. Like that's what MJF should do. Just like ignore it. Like, well, that was meaningless. That was easy. That's it. Just do that.
But then you risk burying Adam Cole in the same vein.
Well, I mean, can he be buried even any further? Can he?
They've already killed him off once. They brought him back to life. And this is what's interesting, is you don't know where on the timelines these two men are with recovery. And that's why I go back to Swerve. It says Swerve wins the AEW World Championship at Dynasty. As someone in the chat pointed out, Double or Nothing could be Moxley. That's not a bad idea. It's going to be around? So Mox is around. Mox is
He's in Japan this weekend.
Yeah, so he did CMLL last week. He's off to Japan because he's got the match against Naito for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. He's got that Windy City Riot match. And then there's Resurgence, which is on May 11th, and then May 24th is Double or Nothing. Could you see Moxley winning the world title from Naito, dropping it at Resurgence to I Don't Know, and then picking up a world title AEW match at Double or Nothing? Or does he walk in with the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship and he goes into Double or Nothing with it, and it's not title for title? They got to figure out a way. That's the problem. If it's Moxley with the IWGP World title and you have Forbidden Door in June, how do you have a Moxley Swerve match?
You don't.
Yeah. You separate the two? I guess so. That's why, I'm talking this out, because someone had mentioned, can you do Moxley? He has to not have a title around his waist to make it work. But I like better the idea of Moxley holding on to that title, going into Forbidden Door and dropping it to I don't know who. Yota Tsuji. I don't know.
It feels like people are really trying to will Moxley to winning this IWGP World Heavyweight title, and I don't see it happening. So
that's fair.
maybe that's the disconnect I have with all of this, is like I don't see it. So I'm not really lending too much thought to it. You can do Moxley and Swerve, but I don't think Moxley is gonna have the IWGP title with that.
Yeah, I'm trying to make Forbidden Door different in that way, because Moxley walking in with another company's championship hasn't really been done to that degree, especially their world title. That's kind of where I'm at. Is that how can you
No,
tell?
I
How,
get that, and that's fair. But then you're not running Moxley and Swerve if Moxley is
no,
the IWGP champion. Then
no, you're not, and that's the whole thing, is that you're not running Moxley and Swerve, at least not until July, and then that's going into the match against potentially Osprey at All In. So there's,
I
it's
would
not
just like
impossible.
John Moxley to be back on AEW television and doing something first.
Me too, but this is the planned time off that he's always had, and of course, planned time off for Moxley includes more wrestling in other companies. God bless. Surprised he didn't show up this week at WrestleMania week to do stuff, not WWE stuff, but like a random Bloodsport appearance, for example. He would
That's why
love.
they sent him to Japan. They're like, all right, go to Japan so you're not just running a bunch of indies over here.
Brett called, or not Brett, Josh Barnett called him for Bloodsport. Said, "Hey, you want to face Mikowski?" And he's like, yes. And then he immediately gets a phone call saying, "You're going to Japan." They'll find someone else for Mikowski. By the way, that's the second interview that MLW gave us that ended up getting information completely switched at the last minute. We asked Akira about his match against Matt Mikowski at Bloodsport, and that got
Oh yeah. Shout out to Matt Mikowski, man. He's been killing it this weekend. He's
yes.
been on like all of these shows too. He's been doing great. He was on Spotlight a little while ago. Like November, October, maybe. Yeah, it's been a while. And like he was coming off of an injury then. So he was like just kind of getting back in the ring with everything. I saw him when I went to Sean's match at BLP, the Shaza match. And he was super friendly and everything. We chatted for a little bit, and to see like what he's doing now this weekend, it's really great to see. So shout out to him. If you've not checked out anything from Mikowski this weekend, one, you probably haven't watched like any independent show if you've not seen if you've not seen him wrestle, because he's been on, if you've watched one independent show, you've probably seen a Matt Mikowski match. So, but he's been doing great.
Yeah, he is running from pillar to post this weekend, and he's doing some really great stuff. So shout out to Mikowski. He got Charlie Dempsey in the Bloodsport match instead, which was a nice surprise. I love that the interview, or the article dropped about Shayna Baszler saying that William Regal called her about the Bloodsport appearance, and then I was like, well, that wasn't the only phone call that he made that day, or maybe he just shouted up the stairs and said, "Hey, boy, what would you like to do this weekend?" And son was like, "I don't know, Dad. What you want me to do?" Does he have an accent? He does. Does he? I don't know. Charlie Dempsey accent?
A little bit, doesn't he?
I don't know. I think
Yes,
it's pretty.
no?
Does he? I don't know. I haven't watched him do an NXT promo in a while. Not gonna find out. Anyway, we got a super chat. Oh, by the way, this is why we'll get to the super chat. Masha versus Shayna at Bloodsport was fun. Shayna Baszler gets the win. Zoe Stark seconded Shayna for the match. That was fun. I like that. It was good stuff. But Masha loses. I'm sorry.
She got her head stomped in.
She did. She got her head effing kicked in.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Caden sent a super chat saying, Masha and Siri going 30 minutes at 1 a.m. It's what you do, baby. When TJPW comes calling, you do everything you can.
I've not watched that match yet. I've got to I got to catch up on stuff, which good luck to me. But yeah, I do plan on checking that out. I of course watch Bloodsport. That's my favorite independent show of the weekend. That was, as usual, fantastic. Bloodsport's always great. Yeah, seeing Charlie Dempsey there was a big surprise. He showed up just during the intros, during the opening ceremonies. It's like, oh shit, Charlie Dempsey's here. It was really cool that Zoe Stark got to second. Shayna Baszler and Jordan was the second for Masha. You saw a lot of photos circulating. Punk was there. Nick Khan was there. So everyone, Lauderdale, when he did an interview, mentioned, William Regal and Dean Ambrose, John Moxley were there like 2019. Like everyone loves Bloodsport.
There were photos of those two being there. They were up in the press box watching down. Press box, the second floor.
Yeah, that was from years ago. And Regal was the one who Yeah, Regal was the one who I think really set up the Bloodsport stuff this year. Shayna said that Regal was the one who told her about it. So, I think Triple H is a fan of that stuff too, but Regal certainly has a hand.
Yeah, and it's good to see. I like seeing it. Listen, the crossover stuff isn't so bad. I know some people are doom and gloom over the idea of WWE getting involved with stuff like Bloodsport, but listen, until they make the offer to buy it from Brett, I'm not too worried. I'm just gonna let it be. Do I expect the WWE wrestlers to quote unquote win the match and go over? Yes, most of the time I do. But if the match is fun, I'm going to enjoy it. This Bloodsport is largely inconsequential to the larger wrestling world. People aren't exactly saying so and so got a big win at Bloodsport, so they're going for this title. It's more that they had a great match, and that's what Bloodsport is built on. It's built on the competition. And that works.
It's different, it's hybrid MMA in wrestling. It's about the attention. Really, that's what comes of this. Like, especially on the independents, wins and losses, nobody pays attention to a lot of that stuff. Everyone, it's a banger, 5-star match, great match, and everything. That's what people kind of care about. No one gets buried in a loss. No one watched that Masha and Shayna match and is like, oh, can't take Masha Slamovich serious now. Like, no one. I just mentioned Dempsey and Mikowski. I didn't watch that going, oh, Matt Mikowski, his star's really fallen off because of that. No, if anything, I'm like, shit, you could put Matt Mikowski in that position of trusting in somebody who's part of WWE. Yeah, maybe you want to use this guy.
That's exactly what it is. It's the tryout that's not the tryout. In other words, you're not going to a gym in the middle of the city to go and run around with the NIL athletes. No, you're someone who's been in it. You're trusted enough. You have the respect of your peers and the acumen to just go out there and work with someone who's already in the WWE system. That works. You can run it like that. And I think it's a smart way to present, by the way. If you're trying to recruit, you've already got William Regal doing it, but now you're sending out talent to go work with other talent who are outside the bubble, and they say whether or not those people are worth investing in the future. It's a tryout without a tryout.
Lauderdale talked about when Shayna was coming in of like, we want to make a good impression to the WWE people. Like, yeah, because you do that and then maybe WWE works with you more. I don't know if they're trying to take over GCW or anything. I don't think that's what's going on here. But my overall point is like the company wants to make a good impression to these people because then maybe they can get more talent down the line. The talent wants to make a good impression to these people because then, maybe, you think Mikowski, I get Mikowski on this show. I get him on this show or Spotlight again. I can ask him this.
Text him right now. Send him this link and say,
hey, come on the show right now. He's probably wrestling in like 5 minutes.
We're talking about you. Bring us to the ring.
Yeah, I'll send it to him. You know what? Fuck it. Hold on.
We got a hot tub with your name on it.
I'll send this to Mikowski. He's a friendly dude.
Hopefully, some of the chat's mentioning like an NXT GCW crossover pay-per-view. Yeah, listen, if it works out, sure. But the problem is, most of the time, your WWE talent are going to go over. Like 99% of the time. Can I see them doing it with like a coconut loop show? Sure. I don't know if that's going to really be the draw that you want it to be, though. Like NXT and GCW are on different levels. 2 years ago, GCW maybe with NXT, but we're not there anymore. It's just a different presentation for both companies and both brands.
Sorry, we're talking. Messaging Mikowski right now.
Will you come and talk about yourself on our show? Maybe he'll tell us how this all came together, how he found out. Because originally, like I said, he was supposed to face Akira, and then someone got injured and was unavailable.
No, Victor Benjamin moved into the match with Akira.
Yes. Yeah. Wasn't there a reason for it? Like someone got replaced?
Yeah, Barnett said it on social media, but I forgot.
I'm gonna pull it up while you're doing that.
All right. Well, I'm done. I sent it to him. I was just like, we're putting you over. I assume you're about to wrestle in like 5 minutes, but if you're free, please join us. So we
Oh,
shall see.
it was supposed to be Anthony Henry versus Victor Benjamin.
Okay, there you go.
And obviously Anthony Henry is injured. So Victor did the Akira match, and then they got Charlie Dempsey to come in. So there you go. With that in mind, I mean, Anthony Henry is going to be back in the AEW fold. I do want to touch on that real quick. Yesterday on the ROH media call, that was kind of the big takeaway. I know that someone asked about the CM Punk stuff, and he said no comment. Sure, that's fine. That's what he's allowed to do for Tony Khan. But then he was asked about the releases. Two of the major takeaways were that he alleged Tony Khan did that the Tate twins, the boys, no showed a couple of Ring of Honor tapings, and he didn't like that. And they disputed that. They said that they're going to tell their side of the story soon enough, and that Anthony Henry was a mistake, and he's going to walk that back and bring him back, but only after he's cleared, which kind of makes me wonder how Anthony Henry's injury, how that's going to be handled in terms of cost. Because I know it happened on the Indies. I don't know if AEW covers anything on an injury that happens in the Indies. I would see maybe they don't. But I'm curious about what that means, that he comes back when he's ready. Does that mean he's re-signed immediately and getting paid while he's on the shelf? Or are they waiting until he's better and then they're going to re-sign him?
I mean, it sounds like that they're waiting until he's healed and then he's coming back.
Anthony Henry also tweeted like immediately that he's like, I'm coming back.
I mean, maybe he is getting paid. Like, Tony kind of said they were on a per appearance. Slim J said he was on a per appearance deal.
Yeah.
So I don't know how many people these were, and I probably should have asked this. I got to ask a question on the call. I don't think I did a great job on it. The question I asked was just whatever. I probably should have followed up on some stuff. That's on me. But yeah, the per appearance deal thing, when it came to, is that what they were on? Will he continue to get paid while he's injured? Tony did make it seem, it's like, got injured on an independent show. That's a gray area type of thing. I don't know.
So Anthony did tweet yesterday during the call. He said, "What a week. Obviously, I was not happy with what happened earlier in the week. However, I am ecstatic about being back. I believe in the locker room at AEW and cannot wait to be back in action." And then he continued, "To those who voiced their support, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I never knew that what I do impacted so many. I've never had anyone rally behind me like that. It's an unreal feeling. Love you all. See you soon." So it feels to me like they rectified it immediately and just re-signed him on the spot. That's the way he makes it look like. Yeah. At the same time, it's entirely possible that he heard, "We'll bring you back," and he's just happy to know that he'll be back. So we don't know for sure. Someone in the chat's asking, "Can we ask?" Yes, of course we can ask. His DMs are open, and we can ask for clarification on that. Send Anthony Henry the link right now. Anthony Henry, we're discussing you on our show. We have a hot tub ready for. Sorry.
Actually, I interviewed Anthony Henry a long time ago. And he's very nice. Very nice. We talked about MMA like off air for like 20 minutes. So very nice dude.
Fun. I like that. There you go. TNA signs Jonathan Gresham. It's official. Good on all parties. Re-signed is what it was. Did anyone break this? No, this is no one's show. Oh, no one has broken that. That was TNA specifically. I thought maybe we would. Why didn't we get the scoop? Huh?
I guess the scoop happened last night on air when they did the vignette for him.
That's fair. You know what? I like to speculate, though. The speculation's more fun. I'm here to speculate. Recklessly, if so. What's going to be on Cody's weight belt?
Apparently it's a Garth Brooks line.
At
least one of them. The other one, so he's obviously got two for the weekend. One's like a Luke Skywalker quote. Hold on, I'll tell you what it is. It's
Is it use the Force? No, that's not.
No, it's a quote from Yoda, Star Wars: The Last Jedi. We are what they grow beyond. That's going to be one of the weight belts. The other weight belt is a Garth Brooks line.
Sorry, well, that Star Wars, that's not the line. That can't be it.
That's what he says.
Awful. I half jokingly said it was going to be a line from the Garth Brooks 1998 hit "Standing Outside the Fire," which, by the way, is an awful song in the Garth.
Good song.
And I said it was "Life is not tried; it is merely survived." And people were like, "Yeah," and I was like, "Really?" I was kind of joking, but okay. Someone said it was going to be something from Shameless, which is a Garth Brooks sung song, but it's a Billy Joel written song. So
it's gotta be 2 pina coladas.
Give
me 2 pina coladas. Gotta have one for each hand. Let's all set sail with Captain Morgan. We'll never leave dry land. Any troubles, I forgot 'em. I buried 'em in the sand. So bring me 2 pina coladas. She said goodbye to her good timing man. Goodbye.
You know the Raw after Mania? You know how the Raw after Mania is going to open up? It's just going to be Cody walking down the aisle. It's going to be all black, like no background, no screen, nothing. It's just spotlight on Cody walking down the aisle. No title in his hand yet. He has won the title, and he's got a microphone in his hand, and all of a sudden you hear, "Blame it all on my roots.
Oh.
I showed up in boots and ruined your black tie affair, your bloodline affair."
There you go. Oh, do you think he's gonna sing Garth tonight?
Oh, that would be phenomenal. That is. I get to cover that with Alexis Cardozo on the post show.
Oh, I'm gonna show up on that show and just start singing Garth.
100%. I need him to just come down, and then all of a sudden he's in the ring, and the ring is dark, and then Cody goes into the ring singing it, and all of a sudden the lights kind of go up on the ring, and it's everyone who helped out Cody win the title, and a new WWE title covered up with the cloth, and it's on the pedestal, and he does the whole thing, and he does "I got friends in low places," and everyone's just swaying back to back, and then all of a sudden, boom, and then off comes the thing. It's the new Cody title, and they just start singing Kingdom.
Do you think he comes out to Thunder Rolls? You know, The Rock's got like the lightning strikes and everything. That's part of. It should come out to Thunder Rolls.
Someone clip that. I just booked the best opening to a Raw after Mania you could ever have. Stone Cold's in the ring. Pat McAfee's in the ring for some reason. KO's there. Sammy's there. The whole anti-bloodline trust is there. They're just singing "Friends in Low Places," and they whip out a new title.
I'm for that. I like that.
Let's do it. I get the song has bad, whatever. We're doing it. What song do they play if Cody loses? "Standing Outside the Fire."
I would call him Baton Rouge.
Someone said that. Someone did quote tweet that.
Yeah, what song they play? They play. Oh my gosh!
Yes. Let's go. Do it. You doing the intro on this one?
Hey guys, I don't want to mess up your show.
Matt, how you doing?
I'm in like Northeast Philly, training a little bit.
Do you want to sing Garth Brooks with us? That's what we ended up doing here for the last 5 minutes.
My camera mic, my phone mic isn't working too well. I'm having trouble hearing you guys, but I appreciate you guys. And yeah, I don't want to mess up your show. I can't really hear you, Jeremy, but thank you so much for tuning in and watching yesterday. I appreciate all the support, man. Really appreciate it, dude.
I'm gonna send you a message. We'll get you on the show proper sometime next week if you're down.
Okay, yeah, that'd be great, man. Hit me up.
Thanks, buddy.
Thank you, guys.
You've been killing it this weekend.
Take care, dude. Thank you.
Bye, man.
Oh man, we had the run-in of run-ins. There you go. There's the dude.
Shame we couldn't actually like ask him questions or anything. I could tell that he's the camera, the microphone on the phone could be a little bit messed up, but I'll send him a message. We'll get him on the show next week and talk to him about everything that happened this weekend.
Can we real quick just talk about how Corey Brennan, who is famously Irish, is in our chat, and he's a big Garth Brooks fan apparently.
Everyone should be big Garth Brooks fans.
I'm so confused. Like, why do you like country music? Also, why he hates you too. So clearly he's a fake Irish boy. Should I see if U2's playing the Sphere the weekend that TNA Rebellion's running?
Go for it. Go for it.
Las Vegas Sphere. Let's find out. This is riveting audio. I know. Thank you. Shows. Here we go. More show times. What's going on? Come on. Where's U2? Where are we, U2? The 20th. Oh, there's a big gap in that weekend. Could U2 be working that weekend? Where is it?
Why don't you do some investigative journalism, Joel, and find out?
I'm doing it. This is really awful. I can't do this. The 20th. No, there's no event on the 20th. They're making way for TNA. No. Nope.
Whoa, the sweetest thing.
That should be the song that Cody does.
I don't listen to U2.
They'll do Elevation.
Ever since they forced that album upon me, I was like, you can go fuck yourselves, U2. Yeah.
But how many Kurks is it?
Biggest piece of shit in the world.
That's right. Oh, All That You Can't Leave Behind is a good album, though. I was in 8th grade when that dropped.
Sure.
2001. It's a good album.
Sure. Yeah.
Anyway, man, so funny. That Garth Brooks line. I need to know what it is. With or without
well,
you.
Tune in live to WrestleMania 40 this Sunday and Saturday. Night honestly, 1, night 2.
If we had the hot tub, we could have gotten Cody in his full suit in the hot tub telling us what Garth Brooks line he was using for that weight belt. Not to be outdone, The Rock went to not to be outdone. The Rock went and got himself his weight belt with a line, but it's not from a Garth Brooks song. He went to who'd he go to? Who would he go to?
George Strait.
He would no, because then Stone Cold would be upset. Stone Cold got his own weight belt.
I don't know if Garth Brooks. Maybe he should go the Chris Gaines line. I don't know
Someone
Chris Gaines.
That, yeah.
But yeah.
No, you know who he went to? He went to Wyclef. They just put it doesn't matter. It's just they just did that.
He should put his own there. It's about drive, it's about power, it's about hunger. We devour.
What about is it maybe he got just pie? That's it from WWF The Music Volume 5. It's the whole lyrics on the weight belt.
No. Oh, Hootie? Are you kidding me? Oh, that's what it is. It's he gives the weight belt to Mama Rhodes. He's like, I wanna love you the best that I can.
Darius Rucker is like the worst human being.
Hootie rules. I'm gonna see them in concert this summer.
Are you? Oh, good stuff.
That's the plan. That's the plan.
So that's our show. Thank you for joining us.
I was thinking Garth and Hootie the rest of the show. Who gives a fuck about wrestling?
It's true. Oh man. I don't want to bring up the JR thing. I'm not gonna do that.
What?
I had time today, Jeremy Lambert. I got time today.
I got to listen to Triple H on the Pat McAfee show at 12 o'clock, so I don't have as much time as you, apparently.
Well, I mean, I got to edit stuff for Sean, so that's what I'm doing. Real quick, Jim Ross needs to shut the fuck up.
Oh, sure.
Yes, I just want to put that out there.
Let's play the drop. Hold on.
Could you? Yeah. Do it.
I guess that means you need to shut the fuck up. That's what I do if I don't have no army. I would fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
I would love to start using that as a regular appearance on this show. That's gonna be our new.
I mean, I would use it all the time. It's great. It's a great line.
Oh man,
it's advice I follow all the time.
That's true. That's good. I wish JR would do it too. Calling Ronda Rousey bitter and saying that he's got a problem with Vince. Yes, JR. A lot of people do, rightfully so. Don't listen to his podcast. He's just garbage. That's really all you get. That's all you need to know. Jim Ross is very clearly a fan of Vince McMahon and continues to be. And he's gonna keep saying, I don't understand. And then meanwhile, he knows exactly what happened. Ronda Rousey is believe it or not, she's very much right in this story. Yeah, guess I'm bitter then, Maggie's saying. I am too. Somebody's be grilling his show. Just stop with him.
I don't care about Jim Ross's opinions.
No, neither do I. I just saw the headline today and I read the article and I was just like, he just needs to shut up. He just needs to go away and stop talking about it because he clearly isn't going to curry anybody's favor.
He gets asked, he gives his opinion. I don't know, whatever.
Not like that Tony Schiavone, who knows to just leave it be.
None of these people should have a podcast.
Well, you can take it up with Connie.
Podcast shouldn't exist, is what I'm trying to say.
All you have to do is get us a hot tub, and then you'll take that back.
No, podcasts were a mistake.
I'm telling you, man. In the Cleveland air, outside, just you and I in a hot tub, inviting members of the wrestling world to come and sit with us while we talk to them about not wrestling.
Sounds terrible.
How does that sound terrible? It's delightful. We'll get pruny after a couple of hours. But like the content, the hot tub.
You're pushing for it. Good luck.
I am. I'm now on the hot tub train. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but we're going to get a hot tub. First, it was I just want a booth on Media Row where people come to us. Now I want it to be a hot tub. I want the gimmick, baby.
All right. Good luck.
I'm going to do it.
Jimmy, can we expense this to Jimmy?
No, this is a WWE expense. They're going to help us with this. They're the multi-billion-dollar company. Okay. If Jimmy Van started getting bees, then I'd probably ask him, but we ain't there yet.
No. All right. Fair.
Send me to Vegas first for TNA.
Yeah.
It's fun. All right. I don't want to talk about any of those things, chat. Let's talk about Mania because here we are. WrestleMania is this weekend.
Allegedly.
Cody's going to finish the story, although you decided to troll. Did you troll Steven Jensen yesterday? You didn't drop the audio, so I don't know.
Oh, I didn't. Sorry.
Saw the thumbnail.
So we did. Yeah, we had our interview with Teal and everything, which was fantastic. And at the end of the show, I mentioned Cody should win, finish his story. Great. I hope that happens because I don't want the Cody fans upset. And I flipped the switch, Joel. I was like, I don't want a bunch of crybabies in my mentions because Cody lost again. They all need to acknowledge the tribal chief when he wins Sunday, WrestleMania, night 2. Acknowledge Roman Reigns. And Jensen my wife sold me out. My wife sold me out and said, Jeremy just can't help himself. That's what Jensen said. Sold me out and said, don't watch the end of the show because Jeremy once again trolled and said, yes, Roman Reigns should be the victor.
Wow. What is wrong with you? Why can't our pal Steven Jensen ever have nice things? I mean, he's not
nice things, I feel like.
That's true. I have seen his room. It looks nice. I haven't seen it in person, but I see what he shows us. But then again, beyond this room, for all you know, it's just stacks of hoarded stuff. It's not all nitro mugs and microphones.
It feels like it is at Jensen's house, honestly.
It really does. I've seen it. But regardless, you really just, I mean, okay, let's tear down let's pull back the curtain on Jeremy Lambert for a second.
This sounds awful.
I know. I very rarely do this on the air. Let's dress down Jeremy. You're in a bedroom, so clearly we're okay, right? Allegedly. What does Jeremy want in WrestleMania? What does Jeremy really, really want? Tell me what
to fucking be over so I can sleep.
Well, then you got to deal with Monday in the fallout and our show.
Yeah, I want it all to be over.
So someone's saying, I got a stack of observers going back to 97 years ago. If I did, Matt McCarthy would be after me. He's the one with the stack of observers.
Joel, I don't know what you're trying to get at. here.
I'm trying to get you to tell me what you really, really want, not what you want to troll us with. If WrestleMania was your show and you got to make it to your liking, what would you do with it without being a little troll?
Dave Bautista comes out and wins all the championships. That's what I actually want.
Okay.
I don't troll. I mean, I do troll, but
Yeah,
like,
I'm gonna say, what are you lying to the people for?
but like, my wrestling taste, I understand, is not for everyone. I don't have attachment to this stuff. I know, like, for some reason that like upsets people of like, why don't you care about what happened? You wanna know why I don't care about WWE storylines? Is because I'm gonna have to watch it and I'm gonna have to cover it anyway. So I don't want to get invested into this stuff to where I am like, oh man, I'm so disappointed this happened, or I'm so happy that this happened, because I gotta watch and cover it anyway. So I want a lot of times the funniest stuff to happen because that makes my job more fun. It's funny if Roman wins. Roman Reigns wins to me. If Cody wins, that's great too. I'll be happy for Steven Jensen and for the Rhodes family that Cody finished the story, and it will be a great moment. You want my honest truth? I think the best outcome, the best possible story is Cody Rhodes winning. That's what I think. Now, if Roman Reigns wins and they decide that they're only in the top of the 6, fine by me. Fine by me if they think they're in the top of the 6 and Roman's going to reign for another 3 years with this championship. I'm okay with that. I don't get invested into any of this stuff because the way I watch wrestling is just different than other people. And the way you watch wrestling is different from other people. And that's fine too.
Of course, it's a subjective entertainment, and that's not really what I'm coming at. I'm curious because this is kind of where I dig into like, this is what Jeremy does for a living, and you do it very well, and you do a lot of it. When was the last time you were actually invested in a wrestling storyline? I guess, okay, let's take Sting's last match out of the equation because I think that would probably be it. But other than Sting's last match, because we know Sting was your favorite wrestler, when was the last time you were seriously invested in a match, an outcome, someone being there? When was it?
Probably Mania 30 with Danielson. I was at that show. That was probably because I can't think of another example of when I was super invested into it. So Mania 30 is the first thing that kind of comes to mind. And if that's the first thing that comes to mind, that's the answer I'm going to go with because I can't think of another thing that comes to mind since then.
Not the Rollins cash in or anything like that. What was the last moment that really got you where you were like, oh hell yeah, we did it?
We did it?
No, we did. Where you were like seriously happy for the moment. Was that Danielson, or was there another point where you're like, oh hell yeah? Like where you really felt the investment. Like this is the fun thing about wrestling, where some people treat it as a sports mentality where they get invested in their favorite characters, their favorite whatever storylines, and they cheer for it. It's like
Yes.
when your
I take my sports very seriously.
I do know that. That's why I'm bringing it up, because I know you have felt that way about things in sports before.
Yeah, but like those are real sports. Wrestling.
Are you telling me wrestling is not real? Are you trying to tell me wrestling is not real?
I guess that the investment is different in wrestling, and like I like a lot of these people. I like the work that they do, but it's the whims of a couple of people as to who wins and loses. So like it's tough for me. Like I get invested to this, but it's also just tough for me to just be like, oh yeah, this is great. Like the people in the ring don't necessarily have control of the actual outcome. So that's why it's a little bit tougher I guess for me to get invested. That I don't know.
That's fair. I'm asking this because I think some people are quick to be like, "Oh, Jeremy doesn't really give a shit about wrestling," which like half true. But really the point is like you come at wrestling from a different angle than I come at wrestling. Than someone in the chat comes at wrestling, or someone who leaves a comment saying, "Oh, why didn't you ask about Tony Khan and the Elite in the interview from your?" And I'm like, "Well, Tony Khan and the Elite weren't part of the MMA Hour interview, so we only talk about one side of it." That's kind of the point I'm making. We all take different sides of the equation because we all see wrestling differently. For example, the anonymous ITW general manager just sent me a message saying, "I was so upset when Sammy lost. It legitimately affected my enjoyment or
That's
any
very
desire
true.
for WWE." And there you go. And that's a very good point. For some people, they get actively turned off from wrestling, or maybe one company or both companies' presentations, or all company for that matter. And then she also mentioned the Kofi loss to Brock Lesnar at the SmackDown debut on Fox. And those are all really good points in time where people said, "Oh, screw this." Like
That one I was
not so much.
That one with the Kofi loss, I was definitely like, that was fucking stupid. You know what? Mania, Kofi's win, I might have had a little bit of investment as well. That was a really good storyline. I did want Kofi to win that match. So maybe that's the example. And that's when I just started covering stuff for Fightful as well. Not just started, I'd been for a few months, but that was the first Mania I covered. So maybe that was the most recent example, but I don't think it certainly was on the level of like Danielson. Of course, I was there for Danielson, so a little bit different experiences. Daniel Bryan winning at 30. So yeah, maybe that's the thing, but I don't know, like I cover it because I'm consumed by it like all day. And when I say all day, like I hope people know, like, I'm not joking about all day. Look at when my first post goes up. Look at when my last post goes up. Look at the gaps between. There ain't many. It's literally an all day consumption for me. So I just view it differently. And I don't consume it always. I'm probably the worst example of like a wrestling fan because like I don't have as much fun as a lot of people do, I think.
This is what I love about this show. And this is the thing though.
Therapy.
Yes. But also it's a whole other can of worms. But like, I know I talk about Busted Open a lot because they are on at the same time as us. Busted Open does, LaGreca doesn't write for a wrestling news site. He doesn't consume the amount of wrestling coverage that you do. But he also doesn't come in, and neither do any of his co-hosts for that matter. They don't come in with the active knowledge or what these people are saying in interviews, for better or worse, to have these conversations. He is actively watching wrestling in a different way than you are, than I am, than anyone else is. And that's why our show is different, because your perspective is one that is, again, for better or worse, deeply entrenched in what's going on in wrestling. And it affects your enjoyment, but also your level of appreciation changes. That's not a binary thing. It's just, sorry to say, there are levels to this, and your level of this is affected because of your input and output, because you do the articles on a daily basis. And I find that fascinating in a way.
Like, it's work for me.
It is. And like, this is also work for me, but it's a different work.
The shows, when I'm watching the shows, like I'm working. I'm doing a lot of different things during it. So that's why I say I want the show to be over so I can just be done working. I can just sleep finally. Like that's partial truth there. But no, I don't. I do think a lot of it is that just, Joel, and we've referenced it. Huge sports fan, huge sports fan. I've yelled at Joel on stream because my team gave up a goal in the first period of a game. First period. There was a lot of hockey left to be played. Didn't care. Joel would not shut the fuck up, and so I yelled at him.
And others. I wasn't alone.
Rob Wilkins was the other.
Rob was with us. Yes.
Rob Wilkins. I get very invested into sports. So clearly I can get invested into this, but I'm not covering every Nathan McKinnon quote. I'm not covering every Shea Gilgeous-Alexander Instagram post. So it's different. Like, I'm not spending my entire day covering the NHL or the NBA. So that's basically, I turn my brain off. I get invested. I have fun with it. Wrestling, because I am spending my entire day, and it's just work for me. And I don't know if that's good or bad, whatever. It is what it is. But yeah, so I can get invested. I do think that the whole, it's on the whims of one or two people is also part of it as well. I know it's changed a little bit over the years, but at the end of the day, that decision of who wins and loses comes down to just one or two people. The wrestlers don't necessarily, they should start losing to Bryan Danielson, but the wrestlers don't necessarily get to say, hey, I should win here. I should lose here. And now when they do, I think it's hilarious because, you know, if Roman comes in and is like, this has been a good story, but you know what? I think I'm going to keep this title. That's funny to me.
Hold on. It's funny to you, but then guys like Billy Gunn get a DQ finish on an AEW Dynamite episode. And here we are again.
It's dumb.
It is stupid. When it affects the overall booking strategy, that's annoying. It's less funny to me. It's just annoying. I like television because I studied radio and television production and storytelling and writing. I like a story that continuously makes some sort of sense, or at least that runs in a way that it will make sense and ties up loose ends along the way. Because again, when you're doing a weekly episodic and there's no off season, Triple H, that is, the story never finishes. That is something that you have to kind of keep in mind when you temper your fandom and the storytelling, blah, blah, blah. But for me, it's what I'm fixated on. I'm fixated on production and I'm fixated on storytelling. So for me, when I don't see the reasoning for the troll finish other than the jokes, but then I'm just like, you just screwed an entire whatever for the lulls. And like,
yeah. And then I like to see like how they justify that kind of stuff. Then I want to see like the follow-up to
it. When it's there.
The dumber, the better for me, because again, I don't, sorry to anybody this might offend. I don't care about your feelings on wrestling. All right? If you are super invested, that is great. I'm very happy for you. If Cody Jensen, I'll use Jensen. I know Jensen is super invested about this. Last year he was distraught. This year I hope he has his moments. For my friends, I hope they get what they want. This is a general kind of thought, feeling, especially in the online bubble that we're all in. I don't care what most of these people, how they feel about wrestling. If they're upset about it, it does not bother me in the least. If they're happy about it, does not bother me in the least. I want my friends to be happy. Yes, I like that my friends are invested in this kind of stuff. But for the general overall feeling of the audience, it is what it is with me. I don't care that much about how they overall feel. And I don't think, by the way, people should give a shit how I feel either. I'm glad everybody's watching this show. I'm glad people like do have opinions on when I tweet innocuous stuff that people feel they like think they know what I'm actually tweeting about or whatever. I'm glad they like feel that way. They shouldn't. They truthfully shouldn't. I don't know if Pile Driver Finisher's joking on this. I need their opinions to validate my enjoyment of the product. I feel like he's joking,
I think he's
but
joking.
like, yes,
Because that's followed by, I like how I like when you lend your imagination to pretend Jericho is entertaining.
like I don't care. Like I don't need these opinions to like validate my enjoyment. I figured you were a Pile Driver Finisher, but I you never know. But like that's truthfully how I feel. Like I don't need these opinions to validate how I feel about this stuff. So, and I don't. This is why I say no one should have a podcast, because truthfully, I don't want to listen to all of these opinions on stuff. That's why I don't. That's why I listen to interviews.
So this is what's really funny to me, or what's really interesting to me, is that while you're saying this, we've had countless conversations about how you listen to talk radio, sports talk radio, on a long drive, and how that's what gets you on a long drive. I understand you specifically are not going to be listening to wrestling opinion content to go about your day, because you're also driving a lot of that content, or doing, covering a lot of that content. So that's work for you. But like, you see the reasoning for why this show exists. You see the reasoning for why we do what we do. And it's beyond not just talking to wrestlers, which is a huge benefit of doing this show, is that we have people involved in wrestling talking to us about their experience doing their jobs. But we also get to give our opinions, because sometimes our opinions are ones that sometimes people share, they feel differently, they get us thinking differently. That's the reason why podcasts should exist. Maybe not all podcasts, but certainly ours. I'm justifying our existence and trying to get us a hot tub while we're at it.
No, I get the reasoning for all of this. Again, I'm very appreciative that people listen to this show and they do care about our opinions on this stuff, and they're in the chat and they're active and they want to, argue with us about things, or they want to agree with us about things. I'm genuinely appreciate. It wouldn't exist without that. It wouldn't. But for my overall feel, I'm talking about when it comes to the investment of the storylines and everything, I just don't have that investment. And I'm glad other people do, but I'm not concerning myself with your investment.
I get it. Jim's got it. Graphs over graphs. It's true. WrestleNomics is missing a listener right now. Where, Jim, have you strayed away from WrestleNomics? Go back there. Go back.
Like your opinion is your opinion on all of this. We all have one, that old saying. But like we all got one on it, and how you feel about it, I might agree with, I might disagree with. At the end of the day, I am not losing sleep or feeling the need to reply to all of this stuff. That's why I tweet and then boom, move on. That's it.
Yeah, you put it out there and let it go. And that's it. Let the people kind of react as they will. I'm looking at this video from the TJPW show. Miyu Watanabe broke a camera during her entrance. She pulled off one of the like the end of the camera. And she just puts it right back on while she's doing her entrance. That shit's great. I love that. There's your next headline. Miyu Watanabe breaks a camera at TJPW event.
This is fair. The people who just get mad anytime I'm on screen.
That's true. Wednesday was fantastic for that. You want to come around tonight, do the post SmackDown show?
I said I'm going to. I'm just going to show. If Cody sings Garth Brooks tonight, I will 100% show up.
Do it. Yeah, we're going to do
and
it.
Sing Garth Brooks.
He's got to sing something. That's or he's going to come and be like, I'm not going to sing because last year that's the reason I knew I wasn't winning. I wasted breath.
Meek Mill, he should do Dreams and Nightmares. That's I know you don't know the song, Joel. Do you want to rap Dreams and Nightmares?
No.
Pull up the lyrics.
Nope.
Coward.
Oh, Athena showed up at the TJPW show.
Good for her.
She's with Billy.
Good.
Good for her.
Billy's wrestling on this TW.
Yeah, she was always doing that.
I know she wrestled last night. Yeah, I know she wrestled last night.
We're gonna find out against who. She got Hyper Misao. I thought you were gonna rap.
Sorry, I gotta correct something.
Like from me?
No. It was an article that was aggregated poorly.
The best kind of aggregation.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I'm here. Michael Cole also dropped a really cool video about the history of WrestleMania and his connection to it. I'm gonna watch that a little bit later. Billy has 3 matches today. I hope she gets through everything. That's gonna be a wild, wild day for her. We love us some Billy Starks up here.
Billy Starks is I mean, she admits she's built different. Billy Starks rules.
And she is. She's Billy built different. She can't call ourselves Big Billy, so we're gonna call her Big Billy built different. Big Billy built different. Wilch isn't sent a super chat saying, I don't know why, but Nick Khan at GCW was funny. It was funny, the photo of him and Brett Lauderdale. Got a lot of people talking. It's got Joey Janela now wants to do Microman versus Great Khali versus Omos.
They're gonna do a spot Microman against the big dude who's in the clusterfuck tonight. Like that's gonna happen.
The American Giant.
Yeah.
Hell of a name, by the way. Yeah, I can't not, by the way. This is always some. Yeah. Billy Starks. Anyway, my child has ruined me, so that is what I have to get up against. Have you finished your corrections?
Yeah. I got it.
Should we talk about the rest of WrestleMania?
Sure.
Seth Rollins.
So, what are we going to talk about?
You want to talk about someone leaving bear in the back of Stone Cold's truck on Easter Sunday?
John Cena's Instagramming about, John Cena's Instagramming about old Stone Cold.
Stone Cold. Think he's going to show up? You think they're all going to show up? Is it going to be the Avengers? What are we doing?
I said they all should show up and Roman should stack them all.
It's kind of an awkward pinning combination there.
Meh.
Yeah.
Cody's on the bottom of it, so that's all that matters. Is like Cody's shoulders are pinned to the mat.
Oh, is that what we're doing? It's just Roman on top of everybody.
Yeah. How else would that go?
What about The Rock? Where's The Rock?
It's stacked as well.
Wow. He's part of the stack?
Yeah, I give a fuck about The Rock.
I mean, what if The Rock gets the pinfall victory on night 1?
I expect that to happen.
I do actually. I'm wondering. I'm. By the way, the article that ESPN dropped about The Rock, the little profile that they did.
Yeah, that was really good.
That was really, really good. Answered the question, who's been training with The Rock? And it's Gallus. All 3 members of Gallus actually flew out. Yeah. Whoa. Went out to LA to train with The Rock in the ring. Michael P.S. Hayes was there. Bobby Roode was there. Chad Patton was there. WWE Medical was there. Like they basically had a whole like WrestleMania atmosphere in a garage in LA. And then Rock went to Hawaii to do his own training on his own. I thought it was really cool. That was a little bit of info that I know people were asking about, but that's what was going on.
Yeah, Rock said it when he was first gearing back of like, I'm basically in a training camp with everything. And that was a good insight as to who was part of that training camp. Yeah,
because I didn't expect it to be Gallus, but also they're not on TV, so they've also been around forever.
Right. Yeah, it's usually NXT guys, though.
It is.
When Cody was coming back, it was like Carmelo and everybody. So it's usually NXT guys.
Yeah, it is. It was surprising that those were the guys, because I know that the last time, or no, it was when Stone Cold was coming back. Who did they have? It was oh my goodness.
Gulak trained with some people.
Yeah, Gulak did. And I know, it was what's his face? Kurt Hennig's son. Oh my god. Michael McGillicuddy. Curtis Axel.
Curtis Axel.
Axel did a little bit of training with with Rock, and I think maybe with Stone Cold at one point.
They should have just had Miz come in.
G1 2024 finalist Mike Mizanin. If they announce it, it's game over, man.
Miz takes care of everyone, man. Miz is a pro. Pro's pro.
You think that pro's going to walk out with the tag titles?
Half of them, yes.
Like he's just going to saw one of the belts in half?
They're very clearly stating that, like, you pull down. I don't understand why you wouldn't pull down both sets. Like, so I think SP3 might have pitched it. Somebody pitched it. I don't remember who it was. So apologies. They've been on this show. Maybe it was Jensen. I don't know.
Well, Jensen's never been on this show, so I doubt it was him.
Well, they've been on screen with me, I should say.
That's fair.
Of Miz and R-Truth win. R-Truth gets the titles, and then he just goes off with them. He thinks he's won like both sets of titles because he's pulled down like the red belts, and then that's how you end up splitting them. And then somebody gets the blue belts for that. Yeah, Maggie says it was SP3. That's what I thought it was. I thought it was SP3. I think that makes the most sense. That's a fun way to do it. You play into, Miz and Truth being forgetful, not Miz, but Truth being forgetful, and then you split the belts. Because again, Michael Cole is being very adamant that like you can win two separate sets of belts here.
You know what you do? R-Truth grabs a red belt and a blue belt. Just one set. That's it.
To make a purple belt?
To make a purple belt. It's cruiserweight tag team titles.
Does red and blue make purple? I legit don't know. I don't know my color mixing.
Fairly certain that red and blue make purple. Yes.
All right.
Artists in the room, please confirm red and blue do make purple. Which is also the cruiserweight classic, the cruiserweight colors.
Well, that's the Judgment Day belts, right? That's what the Judgment Day should have done. Honestly, they should just count purple belts.
Purple belts. Sorry.
Priest has got his purple briefcase.
Yeah, it's Judgment Day. They go back. They get the one set of belt, and they're like, "Well, they're purple now, so those are ours." And they're like, "I guess they are. Purple is your color." Oh man, purple belts go back to Judgment Day. That's what you do. Just give them right back to Judgment Day. And then later on, Damian Priest cashes in night 2.
Nope.
No, he's not going to cash in. He's gonna wait until.
If he does, he fails unless he's beating Rollins. But Drew should win. Maybe that's what I'm most invested in. Drew McIntyre winning this title. That's what I'm super invested in. Is Drew winning? You've
been on that since day one. We talked about this going into the Rumble, and we said
literally day one.
Yeah, no, I know. We talked about the idea of Seth Rollins dropping it to Drew McIntyre at day one, and then maybe doing a quick turnaround. But now Drew's stock has risen so dramatically. You have the Glasgow Clash of the Castle with Drew on the front. That's his show. Yeah. I wonder though, if you have there's no reason that Damian Priest should be winning the world championship unless Seth retains at Mania and then gets cashed in on while Drew and Punk are having a brawl or a moment or whatever. And then, he steals it. Damian Priest steals the World Heavyweight Championship. But then you got to get back to Drew and Punk eventually, unless you make it a blood feud without a title. And then the winner becomes the number one contender. But what do you do with Damian Priest in that time, who's holding the World Heavyweight Championship? Do you do Seth? Because Seth is clearly, he's fine. Does he need the time off to rest anything?
Priest should try to cash in during the Night 2 Avenger Fest and be part of getting stacked. And then you get the briefcase off of him and everybody wins.
There it is. Someone mentioned, what if he's the first one to let the Money in the Bank contract expire? We mentioned this before. Like we talked about the idea that he waits too long and there's no other way that makes him look good if they do that. It just
what
makes
if he trades it? Idiots. Can you trade the briefcase?
For what? A new car?
A new hot tub.
Hot tub.
Hookers and blow. I don't care.
That's
crack.
NXT. Well, The Rock will take that.
What if he just trades it? It's a trade asset for him.
Let's see. When's the next time WWE's in Phoenix? I don't think that's gonna work. I don't think they're gonna trade it for anything.
He's like, I got this expiring contract, literally. This happens all the time in sports. You got a player on an expiring deal, you get a little less value for him, so you just trade the contract.
Yeah.
You get a future second round pick. I don't know. Someone should try this.
They should. But he's gonna just trade it for another title shot. Trade it for a hot tub. Trade it for the main event of some show.
Yeah.
Trade it for some crack. He trades it for literal money in the bank. Just cash it out. Put the cash prize, put it in my account, and we'll be good.
I agree.
No titles for me. I just want that. Just give me the money. I'm not against it. He wants to make a bunch of upgrades to the clubhouse for the Judgment Day. He wants to make a new Judgment Day clubhouse because he got kicked out of the Judgment Day, so he has to start the priest clubhouse or something. Judgment Priest. Put it in savings. Put it in a GIC and RRSP. All right, let's go. This is going to be Stonk's Priest. It's going to be Stonk's Priest, and he's going to be flanked by Cameron Grimes, and then we're going to get the tag team nobody wanted, but everyone needs. Long hair and all.
I miss Cameron Grimes. He should be on television more.
Why isn't he the WWE Speed Champion?
Well, maybe he will be.
They've done 2 of those matches so far.
Yeah, the bracket hasn't aired. The full bracket hasn't been announced yet.
Can't believe they would do that to us. Why wouldn't they let us know what the bracket is so that we can make a bracketology video? We could get our hot takes out of the way. We could speed run the entire WWE Speed Championship. You know,
I already review the show.
That's true. You do.
I should start putting that on my invoice. WWE Speed post show.
How much would you charge? How much would you charge for that?
How much do you get paid off the Impact post show, Joel?
None of your damn business.
Okay, double it, double that.
Wow, that's a lot of money. Holy shit!
Yeah.
You'd be making Denise money at that point. Jeremy Salcedo over here. You gotta go Hollywood.
WWE Speed's my favorite show.
It should be.
Matches done in 3 minutes.
You're giving it big money, big money reviews.
Yeah.
You're going 4.25 on some of these matches, all of these matches.
But then all 4.5. Every single match is gonna be 4.5. One time, I'm gonna give a match like 1 star.
Make it the title.
People are gonna be like, "Oh my god, he's done it."
Just do it to the title match.
It's a really bad match.
You do it on the title match, and you just bury the entire territory right away before it even starts.
See, look at Nancy Collins. She knows speed
for
post.
The speed post show. Now you got to do a 5-minute speed post show, $1 for every minute in that super chat.
That sounds like a terrible idea.
Yeah, well, here we are. We're full of terrible ideas. We are a wrestling podcast. Put us in a hot tub, marginally better.
This hot tub stuff. Why are you so desperate to get me in a hot tub, Joel?
I am so desperate to get everyone we can into a hot tub. This is the gimmick that I think is going to catapult us to the next level of content creation. This is it. This is what's going to do it. I'm telling you, this is going to be the thing. No WrestleMania talk, no Dynasty, all in AEW talk, no MJF, no Swerve, no Roman, no Rock. Hot tubs. Hot tubs.
I don't know how to feel about this.
Oh, this is great. Poor internet connection doing a speed post show. Jeremy and Kate, let's go. Your internet. Oh, I thought it literally shit the bed. Right?
No, that was the bit there. That was the bit. Come on, Joel.
Yeah, we're trying to boost our Twitch numbers. That's why we're getting the hot tub back. I'm gonna pitch Sean and be like, Sean, your office, hot tub. Have you thought about it? Everyone at Fightful does their shows from a hot tub.
Hot tub's a lot of maintenance.
It is, and I ain't paying for it.
Yeah. I don't know if people realize that. Like, it's a lot of maintenance. I used to work at a hot tub store. I'm probably way more well-versed in hot tubs than people would like to believe.
Now the bit comes full circle.
That's also why, like, my not jumping at a hot tub. It's like I've spent around hot tubs. I worked at that place for like, I don't know, 6 years on and off. Yeah, it's a lot of maintenance, Joel.
Oh my
Got to
goodness.
make sure your pH chemical balance is right. One of the jets stops working. You got to change the filters. Some of them need 3 filters. Some of them need 5 filters. Like,
Have
just
you ever worked on a hot tub time machine?
no, none of them were time machines.
Got to work on that next. Bridget Hewlett, by the way, sent us a super chat saying, for the hot tube. Thank you very much. I will bring the beverages, please. We'll accept any beverage, because while you are in a hot tub, you are still exerting water. You will become dehydrated. So yes, the beverages will help us maintain our hydration levels safely.
I got my water.
Yeah, and as long as you bring that with you in the hot tub, you'll be okay.
I need
Hot
some
tub
energy
club.
drinks. I need some energy drinks for this weekend.
Where's Vinny? Vinny winning tag titles over a Monster Factory, but can't give me more of that G Fuel. I was about to do a voice that I don't know what it is. Hey, you wanna hit one of these questions from our Discord?
Yes.
Why Solable, who is not here today?
Coward.
Where are you, Why Solable? Where are you? Normally you're here and chatting with us. Is it because we did an AEW thumbnail? And he was like, nah, forget it, I'm out. Why Solable hates AEW. Let's just run with that logic. Very much not true. Anyway, since it's out of curiosity for those that would apply, so really it's open to anyone in the Discord. Do you guys know or remember when you went from casually indulging in pro wrestling as a general form of entertainment to getting into the more nuance and particulars of the industry, dirt sheets, media, archives, podcasts, and then a follow-up, how do we feel about kayfabe in general? This is actually a really good question. They're typically very good questions, but this is an especially good one.
I started get into the dirt sheets and whatnot. This is a true story, by the way. Okay.
Let's go.
WCW World War III, 1995, when Hulk Hogan is like, observe this, brother. And I'm like, what in the hell is he talking about? And then people around me had to explain to me what was going on here. And most of them did not know. My parents certainly did not know what was going on when they took young Jeremy to this event. But there was someone around me. I was like, what is old Hulkster talking about, mom and dad? And my mom and dad were like, not really sure, because they were not into that stuff. And then a gentleman near me was like, well, let me tell you something, brother. And then he's like, it was a reference to the Wrestling Observer. And I was like, okay. And then once the internet became a thing, that's when I immediately started looking stuff up. So it was 1995. I would have been, I don't know, not good at math still. 7, maybe 8, 7 or 8, one of those two numbers. And that's when I first learned of what the hell the internet observer and stuff was. We didn't get the internet for another couple of years, I guess. So that's when I started diving. But I knew of the observer and wanted to learn more about it at that age.
I like that answer, because once again it proves that Hulk Hogan is the man who brings everyone into wrestling, brother. And when he starts his podcast, I cannot wait to start a new podcast where we debunk literally everything Hulk Hogan says.
Do you think he was lying about starting a podcast? Because that gentleman said, you know, I talked to Hulk 2 months ago and he was telling me about this. It's already been 2 months.
He'll do 3 episodes and then give up. That's what'll happen. He'll do 3 episodes and be like, brother, this is too much work.
3 episodes?
Because that is and I'm not making this up, 97% or so of podcasts only go 3 episodes. And then people give up on it.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. How we've gone 152 episodes, do not know.
Boredom.
Contractual obligation. It's mostly the answer. I was always kind of following wrestling. I was probably 13 or maybe 12. And I was on the internet, as one does back in the 56K modem days, which is the best. And I would go to summer camp, but before, the camp stuff comes in later. I would either read results online or I would be just looking for news. I'd just be looking on websites like Lords of Pain. Don't go there anymore. And we'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah.
I either go to Lords of Pain or I would go to another site that still exists, but they're garbage, so I don't talk about them anymore. And I would get news and results from there. They were all aggregation sites. Didn't know about Observer, didn't know much about the Torch or anything like that. And I just kind of got more and more interested in it. And then in probably 2017, 2018, started listening to Wade Keller, started listening to the Torch audio stuff and got really into that. Still do to this day listen to Wade stuff. But yeah, I'm glad that I came into wrestling the way that I did, because the way that Keller always approached wrestling conversation was less about the breaking kayfabe backstage stuff, and it was more about the analysis of the show and of the product and how that relates to maybe stuff going on backstage. And I liked that approach because I wasn't fully ready to be immersed in what happens backstage and the scoops and all that stuff. I came into that when I met Sean in 2019 and started doing more stuff with Fightful. But before then, I was always a fan who was invested and interested and knew, but I wasn't actively searching or actively looking for that news or that kind of stuff. But I was aware of it probably from when I was 13. And why did I mention the summer camp stuff is because when there was a pay-per-view, I would ask my parents one of two things: record the pay-per-view and send it up to camp, or mail me printed copies of the results from TV. And I didn't do the news because they didn't know, but I would always get the results and some of the pay-per-views from those websites that I mentioned. And that's kind of where it all started. So yeah, the summer camp stuff was fun because they would send me like WCW Invasion, WWF Invasion from 2001. I watched that show at camp because they recorded it and sent it to us. And like a bunch of us sat and watched it, and that was a great show. But yeah, that was where it all started. And then the follow-up was, how do we feel about kayfabe in general?
I don't know.
It exists.
It's fine. Like, it's fine. I don't care.
I like that it has changed over time. I think a lot of people are still stuck in a way that it used to be and think that kayfabe cannot change. I think that letting out all of the secrets isn't... I like to know, but I don't need the entire world to know, because if the entire world knows, then everything has to change again. That's kind of where I come from it. Can you keep a secret?
No.
Then nobody should talk to us.
Fair. That's probably should be the rule here. It's whatever. If wrestlers want to go on and they don't want to give away all the secrets, that's fine by me. If they do want to say everything, that's fine by me as well. I don't really have a strong opinion on it.
But why don't you have a stronger opinion on it that people can get mad about on this show?
I don't have a strong opinion about any of this stuff, honestly. Like, that's why it's hilarious to me when people do get mad about things, because
you're not serious enough.
I don't have a strong opinion. Like, I just say stuff and I move on.
Yeah.
Thank you to everybody who tunes in.
Yes, In the Weeds has been a secret I quit match this whole time and nobody's submitting. That's it.
That's a good comment.
Put it on a poster, because that's exactly... Make it one of those like Live, Laugh, Love, but this. I refuse to give up. I will never give up on us, Jeremy Lambert. We're going to get our hot tubs. We're going to get our interviews. Everyone's going to know our name.
That sounds unfortunate.
The last part I don't really want as much, but comes with the hot tub. What if the maintenance is included? Would you then take the hot tub gimmick?
If it's free, yeah, because again, those things are a lot of maintenance and a lot of things can go wrong with them. So if it's free, sure.
Yeah, we get the free hot tub and the maintenance is included.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what we're working towards here.
Okay.
Okay. And then our friends and wrestlers will come over and do interviews with us in the hot tub. Or we'll go to them. I don't know how we're going to do it, but we're going to get a hot tub and that's going to be the WrestleMania media gimmick.
I wish you the best of luck. You can sit in the hot tub.
It's just me in a hot tub
Yeah,
with
just
you sitting, like you standing next to it trying to
I'm not
interview.
standing. I want a chair.
No, you got to stand.
No.
You're not going to be in the hot tub. You got to stand next to it.
No.
You save a lot of money if you do the interviews over Halloween. Do them from inside a cauldron. We're going to dress up in witches' costumes and do the whole 9. Why are we doing WrestleMania predictions? Because everyone else is doing WrestleMania predictions. We're just here doing our contractually obligated show. We will be back on Friday after WrestleMania to talk a lot of WrestleMania. And as noted on Fightful Select and in our Discord, we can say it. We are scheduled to be joined by TNA's Mustafa Ali, the X Division champion, on Monday morning. Unless something just changed in the last 2 hours.
Hopefully not.
Wonderful.
Joel, what do you think should happen in the main event? Your true feeling.
My true feelings.
Yeah.
The Rock comes out, cuts a long ass promo while he's beating up on Cody Rhodes, and he's just talking shit the whole night. And then the lights go down, they dim, and all of a sudden,
who the hell told you tonight was open mic night, bitch?
I hope that happens.
Cody hits 3 crossroads, one for himself, one for his daughter, Liberty, where the bell is located in Philadelphia. She's also dressed up as a Liberty Bell in my vision. And one for his wife, who just came out and did it for the people. He wins the World Heavyweight Championship. And then everyone's celebrating. Brandy kicks him in the nuts, walks out with the title. She's the new champion, not Cody.
Okay. I'm for that idea. I'm for that idea. I feel like you just booked that for me, which I appreciate.
And then she gets into a giant hot tub and does an interview with us. Cody Rhodes just won the damn title.
Yeah, you're leaving out Pharaoh.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Don't call him Pharaoh. I call him shithead.
Why are you leaving out Pharaoh, Joel?
Because Pharaoh's going to bite the Rock. We've already been through this.
Nah, we'll see.
Roman hasn't done anything to the dog. He is the big dog. He respects the other dogs. The Rock has no respect for Pharaoh, so Pharaoh's going to bite the Rock.
What if Roman feeds Pharaoh the same dog food that he fed Corbin? Just bring that all back around. I don't know, Mike. I don't know. I'm trying to wonder this myself.
When I get the answer, I will tell you all.
No idea.
Oh, look, you know what it is? I watched David LaGreca walk around Philadelphia in a pink bathrobe.
Good for him.
Good for him. I can't do that. I get labeled if I do that.
You're not in Philadelphia, so.
That is also accurate. I am not currently physically in Philadelphia, but I can't do that for Money in the Bank. That'll look.
You can.
I can, but then I'll just blend in with the rest of Toronto's hipster population. It doesn't work in Toronto. But what I can do is get a hot tub and set it out in front of the Scotiabank Arena and do my interviews there. Or in the OVO training facility next door.
Wait, Drake? The Drake training facility?
Yeah. It's not there. It's actually over on the exhibition fairgrounds, like down the way. Where Dynamite was. It's near there. There's a couple of those OVO facilities.
Drake, that fucking coward, won't respond to Kendrick or J. Cole. J. Cole, by the way, was dropping some bars. I listened to the 7-minute song. I forget the full name of it, but he dropped a surprise project last night. Took shots back at Kendrick. Joel knows nothing about this, but get ready for Meek Mill and Lil Wayne this weekend.
Yeah.
No,
Yep.
That's Lil Jon, not Lil Wayne.
Are any of those men going to be in a hot tub? No? Then I don't care.
If we could interview Lil Wayne, but it could only be in a hot tub, then fine. That's what we'll do.
We know the line. Now we know where the line sits for Jeremy.
I'd love to interview Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne rules.
Here's the thing. I don't care about Drake because I think Drake is a human piece of shit.
I know you're not a fan of Drake. We've been over this.
Yeah. So why would I care about anything else? We got to get out of here anyway. You got work to do. So do I.
I'll catch up on it.
What's he gonna
Weezy
do?
F baby, and the F stands for Fed Thriving.
Do you want to listen? As long as Pat asks Triple H about sneakers, then we'll be good.
I don't feel like he's going to ask much about anything, but we'll see. Hopefully, I'm pleasantly surprised.
I would like that. Unfortunately, I, like you, do not expect it. But I do expect a very fun WrestleMania that we'll be back to talk about on Monday, along with an interview with Mustafa Ali. Will he be in a hot tub? Doubt it. Can we try it in a hot tub sometime? Yeah, probably. We'll ask. Oh my God, I have to ask him about that.
You're going to get us in trouble.
Wouldn't be the first time.
Rap some Lil Wayne for us, Joel.
I got none because I don't listen to Lil Wayne. I'm sorry.
Oh my God.
We already sang. We sang Garth Brooks on today's show. How much further down the line do we have to go?
Do you want to sing some more Garth?
Anyway, coexisting with Rob and Maggie, 3 p.m. Eastern. They're going to do a whole lot of previewing and predicting of the shows of the weekend. You should do that. Join them. Corey Brendan's going to talk about Stand and Deliver on their show too. Have fun. Here's the prediction. Here's the spoiler for Stand and Deliver. Good show. Afternoon wrestling. Now go outside and touch some grass.
It's not possible this weekend. It's not possible to go outside. It's only possible to watch wrestling.
But if you're going to watch wrestling and then you take a break, just don't forget.
Now go home and smoke some more crack.
Don't even have to go home. You'll already be there. Jeremy Lambert, anything else to plug?
I want you to rap Lil Wayne. I think this would be fascinating.
Yes, fascinating, and that I have no earthly idea how, and I'm not going to start today.
Wow, Joel. Do you listen to any rap?
I'm going through my mental Rolodex of music, and probably not. Rage Against the Machine count? No. Probably not.
Yeah, the Carter. You've listened to any 15 of them?
Never been my thing. Sorry, friends.
Man,
I was a rock guy. I was always a rock guy. Still am a rock guy. Except for this weekend when he loses. Oh,
wow.
I mean, he's gonna win. He's not gonna like 2 minutes. Anyway, Jeremy, you want to do the plugs and we can get out of here.
I'm gonna spend the rest of my day listening to the Carter 2, Carter 3, maybe.
I am gonna listen to interviews.
Like the hits.
The hits. Okay, yeah, that's fine. I'm gonna listen to content. That's what I do. And then we'll be back here on Monday.
Drop your best Lil Wayne bars in the chat.
Sure, why not? Do it in the comments. Honestly, I'll reply to that more than I will any of your wrestling comments in the chat. So let's get out of here. Till then,
Hold
Monday.
on.
What? We're waiting for this?
Don't sit on top of this dick if you're scared of heights, Joe Pearl.
You know what? With that, I think I'm done.
Did you don't press it? Nope, don't hit it.
I ain't pressed it yet.
Okay. All right.
I haven't done the sign off yet. Are we ready to do this?
Do some more Lil Wayne bars.
All right, last chance. Are you got one for me before I press the thing?
We're gonna sing. I mean, look, real G's moving silence like lasagna is a classic Lil Wayne bar right there. I got ice in my veins, blood in my eyes, hate in my heart.
Yeah.
Let's drop the world. That's good. Good.
I'm
good
sure it
McCoy.
is. We could be here all day doing this.
Yeah.
But we're not because I'm getting out of here. So until then,
Blame it all on my roots. I showed up in boots. Ruin your black tie affair.
you ruined it all, right?
Last one to know. Last one to show. I was the last one you thought you'd see there.
I just want to go home.
I saw the surprise, the fear in his eyes. I took his glass of champagne.
Sounds better than Garth.
I toasted you, said, honey, we may be through, but you'll never hear me complain.
Nope.
'Cause I got friends in low places where the whiskey drowns and the beer chases my blues away. Hee-haw! And I'll be okay.
You're just putting it on now.
Well, I'm not big on social graces. Think I trip on down to the oasis. So I got friends in low places.
Well, if you stuck around to now, 10 a.m. Eastern Monday morning, we'll be back.
Long, long, long neck bottle.
Natural
Let
Pearl.
go of my hand.